Если вы хотите, чтобы мужчина вас преследовал, в первую очередь взгляните на себя по-настоящему. Взгляните на женщину, которая слишком много прожила, многое отдала и забыла себя ради любви. Теперь она подумала, что ее забыли. Не мир, а именно он. Тот мужчина, который когда-то звонил ежедневно, говорил, что не может перестать думать о вас, строил планы и давал обещания, а сегодня холодно отвечает или исчезает. Но я обещаю, что если вы дочитаете до конца, вы поймете, почему это происходит. Вы узнаете, почему одни женщины-мужчины преследуют, если они редкий трофей, а с другими обращаются, как с мебелью. И что еще важно, вы узнаете, что меняется, когда вы переворачиваете доску и перестаете быть той, кто бежит, чтобы стать той, которая идет с достоинством. Даже тогда вы будете преследовать. Это произойдет не потому, что вами манипулировали, а потому, что вы пробудили что-то глубоко в мужской психике. Карл Юнг утверждал, что то, что вы отрицаете в себе, в конечном счете, ваше руководство. Многие зрелые женщины отрицают или забывают о своих ценностях, своем мире, своем высшем уровне. Они верят, даже не говоря об этом вслух, что нужно делать больше, отдавать больше и быть более доступными, чтобы заслужить любовь, и это фатальная ошибка. Если вы хотите, чтобы он вас преследовал, оставайтесь всегда рядом. Не отвечайте ему моментально. Перестаньте менять свои планы из-за неопределенного сообщения. Перестаньте настраивать под пространство, которое оно не заполняет. Чем ближе вы смотрите, тем меньше его мозг будет воспринимать вас как приоритет. Это не драма, а нейробиология. У мужчин есть примитивная мозговая схема, известная как дофаминовая система вознаграждения. Эта система отвечает за удовольствие, достижение и охоту. Когда что-то становится дорогим и слишком доступным, эта система просто отключается. Это происходит не потому, что он жесток, а потому, что его мозг тысячелетиями был настроен на поиск того, что требует революции. Здесь возникает первый микроконфликт. Вы думаете, что продлите любовь, но на самом деле вы платите. Вы считаете, что верны, но на самом деле вы лидеры. Вы верите, что питаетесь, но на самом деле вы опустошаетесь. Он бессознательно это подумал. Как и любой человек, он начинает недооценивать то, что не нужно завоевывать. Так где же вы потеряли? В какой момент вы начнете верить, что любовь придет, только если вы откажетесь от себя? Почему вы перестали слушать себя? Перестали удивляться и смотреть в зеркало с чувством «я достаточно». Потому что, дорогая моя, мужчины замечают это не словами, телом и чувствами. Они обнаруживают, когда вы вибрируете изнутри, и обнаруживают, когда вы просто ждете одобрения. Настоящее соблазнение не в помаде или хранении белья. Оно в стратегическом отсутствии, в удачно подобранной паузе, которая заставляет его задуматься. Например, «Сегодня я не могу» в назначенный мне час. Это не игра, это уважение и уверенность. Это осознание того, что ваше время, внимание и энергия — это сокровища, и доступ к ним лишь тот, кто умеет их ценить. Карл Юнг также говорил, что тень, с которой не справились, возвращается в виде судьбы. Тень женщины, которая умеет только отдавать себя — это пустота. Это ощущение, что вы не поддерживаете, не слышите и не желаете. Но когда эта женщина решает пойти на свой путь, когда она перестает просить любовь и начинает взращивать ее внутри себя, мир меняется, и мужчины это обнаруживают. А теперь я спрашиваю вас, что впервые происходит в его мозгу, когда он осознает, что вас больше нет рядом постоянно, что вы больше не гарантированы, и он может вас потерять. Именно здесь все начинает меняться. Об этом мы поговорим в этой части, потому что существует простой и общедоступный трюк, который активирует центры завоевания в мужском мозге и возвращает вам магнетизм, об утрате которого вы, возможно, даже не подозревали. До встречи. Вспомните, когда вы в последний раз долго не проверяли сообщения не из-за стратегии, а потому, что мы действительно работали и занимались чем-то, что было организовано только вами. Возможно, это был день, когда вы вышли без угрызений совести, или тот редкий момент, когда вы сидели с книгой на балконе, наслаждаясь солнцем, и просто забыли о телефоне. И когда вы, наконец, взяли телефон, это было от него. Приятное, интересное, почти тревожное. Пауза, которая рождается из любви к себе, — это тихая молитва. Как будто Вселенная говорит вам: «Я здесь, но мне недоступна никакая цена». Сегодня я хочу представить вам этот инструмент под другим названием — стратегическая пауза. И нет, это не игра. Это трогательная, эмоциональная независимость. Это мягкое, но твердое напоминание о том, что вы существуете вне его присутствия, и что ваше время, внимание и ответ — это достижение, а не внимание. Карл Юнг говорил, что то, с чем мы не справляемся внутри себя, обнаруживается вне нас, как судьба. Часто то, что вы считаете его отдаленностью, на самом деле является отражением того, что в последнее время вы подходили к нему, в последнее время вы торговались, пусть даже с любовью, в пространстве, которое должно быть священным. Поймите, когда вы отвечаете сразу, каждый день, когда вы всегда готовы, всегда онлайн, всегда в настроении, его мозг приспосабливается. Создается шаблон, он привыкает, вы становитесь рутиной, гарантированным присутствием, и его система вознаграждения засыпает. Но когда вы вводите настоящее, ненавязчивое пространство, начинает происходить нечто иное. Его префронтальная кора, ответственная за планирование и принятие решений, активна. Он начинает задаваться вопросами: что она делает? Все в порядке? Она отдалась. Речь не о том, чтобы вызвать неуверенность, а о том, чтобы вернуть интригу. Сразу после этого возникает небольшая доза адреналина. Та самая, о которой вы подумали, когда кто-то, кто вам интересен, пропадает на несколько часов. Сердце немного учащается, мысли бегут, рабочие предложения. Именно в этот момент зарождается желание восстановить связь. Когда вы, наконец, отвечаете, дофамин, нейротрансмиттер, исходя из мотивации и удовольствия, полученного с еще большей развитью. Это как разница между тем, чтобы есть шоколад каждый день и попробовать кусочек через неделю. То же вещество, тот же человек, но вкус другой, эмоции другие. Возможно, вы думаете: а что, если он решит, что мне все равно? Я отвечу вам на вопрос. С какой-то заботой о ком-то стала заключаться постоянная доступность. Сколько раз вы отменяли встречу с подругой, записывали свои дела, оставляли книгу на прикроватной тумбочке только для того, чтобы быстрее ответить, выглядеть более подготовленной, быть более внимательной. И что вы в итоге получили? Я взял женщину по имени Элиза. Ей было 52 года, мать 2 взрослых детей, разведена 6 лет. Она начала отношения с милым, но эмоциональным мужчиной. «Вначале он был очень милым», — сказала она мне. «Потом стал меньше любого, меньше стараться, как будто я была ему гарантирована». Она пришла ко мне в слезах, хотела знать, как вернуть его. Я не дал ей волшебной формулы, а просто предложил ей вернуться к своей жизни до него. Возобновить прогулки в парке, кофе с подругами, дни без присутствия телефона, дыхание самостоятельно. Через 3 недели он появился с цветами, с приглашением, с глазами, которые снова видели ее. Что изменилось? Она изменила ходы. Перестала быть в режиме ответа, вернулась в центр своей жизни, и он это чувствовал. Потому что мужчины обнаруживают, даже если не могу объяснить, когда женщина снова принадлежит тебе. И это то, что вам нужно понять. Стратегическая пауза работает только тогда, когда она настоящая. Если она вынужденная, он это подумал. Если она построила на гневе, он ушел. Но если она сделала это с присутствием, с достоинством, с любовью к себе, он наклоняется, кажется, перенесет вред. То, что первоначальное отсутствие — это не отказ, это приглашение к уважению, к признанию, к возвращению. И, возможно, сначала за долгое время вы поймете, что не пытаетесь никого вернуть. Вы, наконец, находите себя. И эту женщину, которая появляется после паузы, невозможно забыть. Вы когда-нибудь задумывались, почему некоторые женщины, даже после многих лет отношений, имеют в себе что-то, что привлекает внимание мужчин? Они входят в комнату, и даже в тишине вокруг них что-то пульсирует. Это не красота в классическом понимании, это не облегающая одежда, великолепный макияж или натренированные улыбки. Это глубина. Это такой тип присутствия, который не раскрывается полностью, который заставляет вас хотеть узнать больше и еще больше. И этого никогда не бывает достаточно. Это сила тайны, элемент, который, вопреки мнению многих, не является манипуляцией. Это сохраненная аутентичность. Это понимание того, что не все нужно раскрывать, чтобы быть настоящим. Карл Юнг говорил, что человек состоит из широких слоев: персона, тень, эго, бессознательное. Так почему же, вступая в отношения, мы испытываем эту почти детскую потребность полностью обнажить свои эмоции в первый месяц? Ответ прост и болезнен. Потребность в любви. Мы хотим быть любимыми, но думаем о близости с абсолютной прозрачностью и забываем, что желание не выживает в конкурентоспособности. Желание нуждается в контрасте, в нюансах, в паузах. Вы делитесь с ним всем. Каждой мелочью дня, каждой мыслью, которая проникает у вас в голову, каждой эмоцией. Вы проявляете их, даже те, которые еще не поняты. Возможно, вы считаете, что это связь. И это может быть так, но в избытке это оборачивается перенасыщением. Потому что человеческий мозг работает на контрастах. Свет воспринимается только потому, что существует тень. Тепло ценится только после холода. Присутствие одувается только после включения. Вы когда-нибудь чувствовали себя измотанными от того, что всегда были эмоционально доступны? У вас когда-нибудь было ощущение, что вы отдаете ему весь свой мир, а он все равно скучает или кажется отстраненным? Поделитесь со мной в комментариях. Я хочу знать, случалось ли это с вами, и как вы с этим справились. Теперь подумай со мной. Что интереснее? Книга, которую вы читаете один вечер, или та, которую вы читаете понемногу, отмечая закладки страницы, перечитывая отрывки, открывая для себя новые границы с каждой главой? Первое может быть лучше, но второе меняет вас, бросает вам вызов, остается с вами на долгие годы. Точно так же, как женщина, которая не позволяет полностью себя разгадать, которая не дает всех ответов, которая знает цену того, чтобы сохранить часть себя только для себя. Но, внимание, я не говорю о том, чтобы играть в игры, исчезать без причины или создавать образ. Это поверхность. Я предлагаю здесь выборочную аутентичность. Понять, что не все эмоции нужно выражать словами, не все мысли нужно делиться, не все боль нужно выкладывать на блюдечку. То, что твое, это свято. Вы заметили, как страсть угасает, когда все становится рутиной, когда доброе утро становится автоматическим, а «я люблю тебя», внимание, разговор всегда вращается вокруг одних и тех же тем. Это происходит не потому, что любовь умерла. Это происходит потому, что умерла таинственность, потому что пространство для открытий было заполнено экономичностью, мозг, особенно мужской, отключается, когда больше нечего завоевывать. Юнг также говорил, что бессознательное ищет то, что мы делаем. А то, что мы делаем, никогда не бывает полностью видимым. Это неожиданные жесты, многозначительные паузы, глаза, которые блестят, открываются. Это женщина, у которой богатая жизнь, полное количество друзей, планирование, идеи, и которая, когда уделяет вам внимание, заставляет вас вести себя почетным, а не прибыльным. Быстрый вопрос. Что вы все еще храните только для себя? Есть ли уголок вашей души, который все еще принадлежит только вам, или вы отдали все? Если ответ «я отдал слишком много», знайте, что никогда не поздно. Восстановите заново. Научитесь чувствовать себя эмоционально, не закрываясь. Это не эгоизм, это самосохранение. Вы можете быть любящей, внимательной, страстной и при этом сохранять свою загадочность. Вы можете быть уязвимой, не находясь при этом постоянно прозрачной. Вы можете быть открытыми, не будучи выгодной. Именно эта комбинация пробуждает в мужчине не только сексуальный интерес, но и желание постоянного открытия, желание осознанного присутствия, желание глубинных отношений. И он может даже неразумно понимать, что изменилось. Но он будет думать, он будет смотреть на вас по-другому, он будет хотеть узнать больше, он будет замечать детали, он будет ждать с вами моментов, как ждать чего-то редкого. Потому что именно этим вы становитесь, когда вдруг соединяетесь с этим изменением угла и контрастов редкой. Так что ответьте мне в комментариях, какую часть себя вы думаете, что отдали слишком рано и готовы вернуть с любовью и достоинством. Ваша история может вдохновить другую женщину прямо сейчас. Однажды на сеансе с женщиной по имени Тереза, 49 лет, она сказала мне нечто, что глубоко затронуло меня. Я отдала все, что у меня было, и даже так он ушел. Что еще я мог сделать? Я твердо посмотрела на нее и ответила. Возможно, ошибка была не в том, сколько вы отдали, а в том, сколько вы забыли остаться для себя. Тереза не поняла сразу, но в течение нескольких недель она осознавала. То, что утомляет другого, это не избыток любви, это отсутствие тайны, это эмоциональная выгодность, который день за днем тихо убивает желание. Это приводит нас к одним из элегантных иронических отношений. Чем больше вы отталкиваетесь от любви, тем меньше других мыслей, что в вас есть что-то ценное. Это происходит потому, что человеческое желание, и здесь особенно мужское, стимулирует не поддерживать присутствие, ограничивать напряжение между присутствиями и отсутствием от предоставления и независимости. Карл Юнг говорил об этих других словах, когда утверждал, что настоящая любовь возможна только между двумя полными индивидуальностями, а не между двумя половинами. Отчаянная нужда необходима в одобрении. Знаете ли вы, что согласно исследованию Гарвардского университета, отношения, в которых каждый партнер сохраняет свои интересы и активную индивидуальную жизнь, на 42% более благоприятны в эмоциональном и сексуальном плане, чем отношения, основанные на зависимости. Этот факт кажется противоречивым, но именно он поддерживает желание в большей перспективе. Свобода, индивидуальность, космос. И здесь вступает в силу одна из самых трудолюбивых, чтобы принять истин. Чем меньше он нуждается в вас для счастья, тем больше он считает необходимость быть рядом с вами. Не потому, что вы стали холодными, а потому, что стали целостными. Присутствие целостности женщины – это то, что немногие мужчины могут стоять рядом. Подумайте о женщинах, которых вы знаете и которые обладают определенными функциями магнетизма. Они живут не ради мужчин. У них есть свои обязательства, хобби, разговоры, не связанные с отношениями. И поэтому, когда они выбирают быть с кем-то, это имеет значение. Ценность, смысл. Быть с ними – это опыт, а не обида. Вы можете вспомнить момент в своей жизни, когда вы были настолько влиятельны с собой, настолько увлечены своим путем, что даже не думали о том, чтобы кому-то понравиться. Возможно, это было до отношений, которые вы истощили. Может быть, это был творческий, профессиональный или духовный период. А теперь скажи мне, почему ты остановился? В какой момент вы перестали быть той очаровательной женщиной, которая была достаточно самой себе? Если можете, напишите об этом в комментариях. Я хочу знать, на каком этапе жизни вы чувствовали себя наиболее связанными с вами и что отдалило вас от этого. Другие женщины могут проходить через то же самое. И вот интересный факт из нейробиологии. Мужской мозг очень чувствителен к новому и непредсказуемому. Это не значит, что ему нужна новая женщина все время, как гласят некоторые клише. Это означает, что ему нужно чувствовать, что перед ним женщина, которая находится в движении, которая растет, интернет переосмысливает себя. Потому что это бросает вызов его уму, потому что это пробуждает самый древний инстинкт, заложенный в мужчине. Инстинктивно завоевать то, что не гарантировано. Но, внимание, речь не о том, чтобы превратиться в другого человека, чтобы ему понравиться. О том, чтобы снова стать той, которой вы были, когда начали жить вдвоем. Юнг говорил, что мы стремимся к индивидуализации. Процесс становления тем, кем мы уже являемся, но о чем забыли из-за страха быть непринятыми. И этот страх – самый большой вор вашей женской энергетики. Вам не нужно играть в театре. Просто живите правдой. Имейте реальные планы. Наслаждайтесь собой. Вы заняты своей жизнью не потому, что хотите вызвать ревность, а потому, что эта жизнь действительно вас волнует. Что быть одной в воскресенье, читать хорошую книгу, лучше, чем быть в компании, чувствуя себя невидимой. Способ ухода за своим телом – это способ уважать себя, а не соревноваться с кем-то. Слова, что писать, танцевать, гулять, путешествовать, смеяться – это сторона вашего внутреннего огня. Того, который он, возможно, забыл, но который вы думаете разжечь заново. И когда он снова увидит это пламя, не из-за ваших слов, а из-за вашей энергетики, какие-то изменения. Его взгляд меняется, поведение меняется. Потому что мужчины, когда возникают проблемы с собой, которая сияет сама по себе, чувствуют что-то между очарованием и настороженностью. Может, она все еще нуждается во мне, думаю они. И вот тут эмоциональная игра переворачивается не потому, что вы взяли, а потому, что вы снова заняли свой трон. И еще одно – перестаньте измерять ценность его состояния. Ваша ценность непропорциональна частоте сообщений или количеству комплиментов. Ваша ценность предшествует всему этому. Она древняя, она священна. Она заключается в простом факте вашего света, в том, что вы дышите, думаете, понимаете. Она заключается в том, что даже если он уйдет, вы остаетесь целой. Карл Юнг говорил, что то, что мы больше всего хотим найти, находится именно там, где мы меньше всего хотим искать. Возможно, то, что вы смотрите в нем, можно найти только внутри себя. И когда вы это найдете, вы больше не будете умолять о внимании. Вы просто позволите другому выбрать быть там, где ваш свет уже сияет. И это, моя дорогая, слишком магнетично, чтобы его борт. Итак, поговорим о переломном моменте. В тот момент, когда все, чему вы научились, о паузах, тайне, выборочных методологиях и самодостаточности, начинает консолидироваться в тихой силе, которая меняет ваше вибрационное поле. Потому что есть огромная разница между выбранной попыткой и собственным выбором. И именно в этом большинство спотыкается. Удивительные, сильные, глубокие женщины, которые прошли весь внутренний путь, но все еще тайно ждут, что другой придет и дополнит то, что уже должно быть целым. Но вот правда, возможно, никто не осмелился сказать тебе до сих пор. Энергия, которая действительно притягивает, это не производитель энергии, а выбор энергии. Искреннее желание не возникает из-за обстоятельств, оно возникает из осознания ценностей. И женщина, которая ценит себя, неизбежно начинает лучше фильтровать. Отступать перед крохами, меньше улыбаться пустым обещаниям, осознавать разницу между заинтересованным мужчиной и действительно доступным мужчиной. Вы заметили, как когда вы эмоционально в порядке, меняется даже ваша осанка. Ваш взгляд становится более твердым, ваш голос успокаивается. Вы двигаетесь менее быстро. Это происходит потому, что тело реагирует на состояние технологий, и мир тоже. Мужчины, которые раньше вас не замечали, начинают смотреть на вас более внимательно. Те, кто раньше относился к вам с пренебрежением, теперь взвешивают каждое слово. Это не магия, это энергетическая договоренность. И вот ключевой момент. Вам не нужно быть недоступной, холодной или странной женщиной, чтобы вас уважали. Вам просто нужно перестать вести себя так, как будто общение с вами – это одолжение. Карл Юнг говорил, что то, что вы проецируете на других, на самом деле живет в вас. Если вы проецируете неуверенность, с вами будут обращаться с неуверенностью. Если вы проецируете страх быть брошенной, вы будете постоянно проверять. Но если вы проецируете уверенность, полноту и любовь к себе, поле вокруг вас вредит, отношения агрессивны, честные люди показывают, а неправильные быстро показывают свое истинное лицо. Вы здесь не для того, чтобы бежать за кем-то. Вы здесь, чтобы идти рядом, чтобы быть независимой личностью, а не умаляющей. И когда он поймет, что быть с вами не является чем-то гарантированным для вас, не потому, что вы играете, а потому, что у такой насыщенной и интенсивной жизни, что не остается времени на питание иллюзий, у него будет два наставника – расти рядом с вами или уйти с вашего пути. А если он уйдет, отпустите его. Потому что, если вы следили за всем, о чем мы говорили до сих пор, вы никого не потеряете. Вы освободитесь от эмоционального повторения. Вы, наконец, выходите из режима спокойной обстановки и разочарования. Вы будете готовы к чему-то большему и более искреннему. Это и есть великий финал. Твоя сила не в том, чтобы сделать его возможным. Она в том, чтобы понять, что даже если он не вернется, вы остаетесь цельной женщиной. Женщиной, которая научилась видеть себя, слушать себя, признавать себя, и поэтому стала неотразимой не в глазах мужчин, а в глазах самой жизни. Теперь, когда вы дошли до этого момента, пришло время перейти от теории к применению, превратить знания в действие. В следующие несколько минут я провожу вас по практическому, глубокому и эмоциональному плану, шаг за шагом, чтобы внедрить все это в вашу реальную жизнь осознанно, структурированно и мощно. Вы узнаете, как изменить свою позу, не теряя мягкости, как сохранить свою загадочность, не отключаясь от мира, и как занять свое место с такой аутентичностью, что окружающий мир будет вынужден приспосабливаться к новой женщине, которую вы стали. Причина того, что эта женщина уже начинает рождаться, и она является исключительно полноценной жизнью. Вы дошли до этого момента, вы прочитали, услышали, прочувствовали каждое слово, и в какой-то момент на этом пути что-то внутри вас зашевелилось. Возможно, это было уважение, воспоминание, желание плаката, неважно почему. Это не слабость, это знак того, что броня начала трескаться, а когда броня ломается, душа дышит. И теперь настало время действовать, не торопясь, не отчаиваясь, но с присутствием, с глубиной, с правдой. Я хочу предложить вам план. Не просто план, эмоциональный, символический, практический путь. План, который изменяет не только тому, как вы относитесь к мужчине, но и тому, как вы видите себя в зеркале. Потому что, когда женщина меняет свое отношение к себе, весь мир меняет свое отношение к ней. Первый ритуал реинтеграции. Найдите сегодня время, чтобы побыть одному, без присутствия телефона, без телевизора, без музыки, только вы. Сядьте перед зеркалом и спросите себя, от чего я отказалась в себе, чтобы быть любимой? Возможно, ответ придет в виде воспоминаний, боли, тоски, забытого таланта, задушенной радости. Запишите, не исправляйте, не судите. Просто запишите. Это начало воссоединения. Второй. Священный дневник. На следующие 7 дней выберите для себя постоянное время. Только для вас. Это может быть полчаса в день, может быть час, неважно. Это время не предусмотрено обсуждению. Запишите в календарь, как эта встреча с кем-то очень важна, потому что это так. В это время вы будете делать то, что вас питает. Гулять, писать, танцевать, учиться, плакать, смеяться, готовить что-то, что напоминает вашу душу, что она жива. Сделайте это священным ритуалом, потому что женщина, которая бросает себя, притягивает к себе брошенность. Женщина, которая притягивает к себе уважение. 3. Сознательная коммуникация. Каждый раз, когда вы собираетесь ответить на сообщение, которое вас взволновало, сделайте паузу. Вдохните, перечитайте, спросите себя: «Я отвечаю себе из-за страха потерять или из-за любви к…» Если из страха, подождите, ответьте только тогда, когда успокоитесь. Потому что женщина, которая отвечает за страх, всегда ведет себя ниже. Тот, кто отвечает за достоинство, заботится о защите окружающей среды. 4. Стратегическое молчание. Научитесь уходить без шума, без драмы, без отражений. Если вы заметили, что пытаетесь узнать свое присутствие, удерживаете кого-то, вызываете реакцию от происходящего. Не со злобой, с мудростью. Когда ты уходишь с любовью к себе, другой человек думает об этом, и если он научился, он вернется другим. Если нет, вы выпустили еще один цикл боли. 5. Письмо будущему себе. Напишите себе письмо, как оно будет отправлено через год. Расскажите о женщине, которой вы хотите быть. О том, как она себя думает, как себя ведет, как любит, как ее любит. Пиши все в деталях, подпиши с гордостью. Храните это письмо в особом месте. Оно будет напоминанием о том, что вы строите каждый своим жестом, каждый вам «да» себе, каждый «нет», что умаляет. 6. Выбор древней любви. Наконец, выберите любовь, но начните с собой. Если этот мужчина придет, пусть он придет, чтобы дополнить вас. Пусть он придет целым. Пусть он не придет, чтобы высасывать из вас свет и идти рядом с вами. А если он не придет, продолжайте идти, несмотря ни на что, с уверенностью, что весь мир ждет эту новую женщину, которая рождается. Карл Юнг говорил, что то, с чем мы не сталкиваемся в себе, мы в конечном итоге встречаем как судьбу. Сегодня вы смотрите в зеркало и говорите: «Хватит, достаточно повторений, хватит молчать, хватит умолять». Теперь речь идет о вас, а кто хочет идти с вами, пусть учится уважать вас. Если этот контент каким-то образом тронул ваше сердце, расскажите мне об этом в комментариях. Можете остаться анонимным, если хотите. Поделитесь своей болью, своими предложениями, своим поворотом в жизни. Есть другие женщины, которые проходят через то же самое. Ваша история может исцелить. Если вы хотите продолжить этот путь роста, осознания и преобразования, напишите прямо сейчас на канале. Поставьте лайк этому видео, чтобы YouTube понял, что оно может помочь и другим людям. Если можно, отправьте его подругу, которая нуждается в напоминании о том, кто она есть. Потому что вместе мы снова обретаем себя.
Let me tell you something. Life isn't about waiting for someone to realize your worth, it's about realizing it yourself first. The truth is, there will come a time when people will walk away from you. They might lose you because of their own choices, their ignorance, or because they failed to see the light you bring to their life. And I know that hurts, it shakes you to your core. But here's the magic: you are not the one who lost, they are. See, when someone loses you, they don't lose just a person, they lose your love, your loyalty, your energy. They lose someone who could stand by them when the storm hit. They lose a source of warmth, positivity, and power that can't be replicated. That's why it stings so much for them later, because the world is filled with noise, but so few people bring genuine peace, and you are one of those rare souls. Now, I want you to hear me when I say this: you are not replaceable. Yes, the mind will try to convince you otherwise. It will whisper lies that they moved on, that they are happy without you, that you're forgotten. But do you know why the mind does that? Because it is afraid of letting go of the illusion that your worth is tied to someone else's validation. But when you step back, when you rise above it, you'll see the truth. The peace you carried was your gift. They will search for you in others. They will chase the same comfort, the same connection, but guess what? They won't find it. Why? Because you are one of one. The laughter you brought, the trust you gave, the moments you shared, those are irreplaceable. They'll realize it late, but by then you will have already leveled up. You will have grown, healed, and become stronger. Because the reality is losing you doesn't just mean they lost a person, it means they lost the one chance they had at something real. So don't sit in your room crying over someone who failed to see your worth. Don't replay the memories trying to understand why. Instead, stand up tall and realize the power you hold. The gift of you is a privilege, not something anyone can take for granted. When you shift your focus back to yourself, when you start pouring into your own growth, your peace, and your happiness, that's when you become untouchable. And let me tell you something about peace. You don't chase it, you become it, you radiate it. When you carry peace, you inspire others, you light up rooms, you make people remember you long after you're gone. Because peace isn't just what you feel, it's what you leave behind. And when they lose you, they lose that gift. So today, let this be a wake-up call for you. Stop questioning yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Instead, say to yourself, I am the gift. I am the peace. And the right people will never let me go, because those who are meant for you will see your value and they will protect it. The rest, let them go. Let them learn the hard way. And when they look back and regret it, don't you dare look back with them. Keep moving forward. Keep rising higher, because your peace deserves a throne, not a battlefield. Let them realize they lost the best thing that ever happened to them. And you go and become the version of yourself they'll never get the chance to meet. That's how you win. That's how you find your own peace. And that, my friends, is how you take your power back. Let me tell you something, your worth is not up for debate. It's not measured by how someone else sees you, how they treat you, or whether they choose to stay in your life. Your worth is defined by you, by how you show up for yourself, by how you believe in who you are and what you bring to this world. Too many times we give away our power. We let someone else's actions or lack of action make us question our value. Maybe they walked away, maybe they didn't appreciate you, or maybe they thought they could replace you. And when that happens, the mind starts playing games. You start asking, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I good enough? But here's the truth, it was never about you. It was about their inability to see your worth. See, people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. If they don't know how to value something rare, something special, that's their shortcoming, not yours. When someone loses you, it doesn't mean you weren't valuable. It means they weren't ready for what you had to offer. They weren't ready for the love, loyalty, and peace you brought into their life. Now listen carefully, never shrink yourself trying to fit into someone else's version of love or acceptance. Stop tying your self-worth to their presence or absence. The fact that someone couldn't see your value doesn't mean you're not valuable. It means they didn't have the eyes to see the masterpiece in front of them. A diamond doesn't lose its value because someone doesn't know how to recognize it. It remains precious no matter who holds it. And you're that diamond. I want you to understand this deeply. Your worth is not conditional. It doesn't depend on who stays, who leaves, or who comes back. Your worth comes from the fact that you are you unapologetically you. You bring something to the world that no one else can, because there is only one you. You're not here to convince anyone of your value, you're here to embody it. You're here to stand tall and let your energy, your peace, and your light speak for itself. When you start to believe in yourself, when you start to recognize that you are enough just as you are, you become unstoppable. No rejection, no loss, no heartbreak can take that away from you. Because the truth is, the moment you realize your worth, you stop settling for people who don't see it. You stop begging for love that was never yours to fight for. You stop letting temporary people shake your permanent confidence. So if someone loses you, let them. Let them walk away. Let them figure it out. Their actions are not a reflection of your worth. They're a reflection of their inability to value something extraordinary. And trust me, they will feel the absence of your presence. But you'll be too busy rising, thriving, and stepping into the version of yourself that they never got the chance to know. That's the ultimate power. That's when you truly win. When someone loses you, they lose far more than just a person. They lose the unseen gifts you brought to their life, the kind of gifts that can't be replaced. You see, when you show up for someone with love, loyalty, and authenticity, you become a source of energy they didn't even know they were taking for granted. You become the person who lifted them when they were down, who believed in them when they doubted themselves, who brought peace to their chaos, and who stood beside them when they felt like the world was against them. That's not something they'll ever find in just anyone. Too often, people don't realize the role you played in their lives until you're gone. It's easy for someone to take for granted the love you gave so freely, the comfort you offered without asking for anything in return, and the way you made their life brighter just by being part of it. But here's what happens when you walk away, they start to feel the void. They start to notice the silence. And in that silence, they realized just how much of their peace was tied to your presence. I think about this, there are countless people in the world, but very few will bring the kind of energy that can calm storms. Very few will show up with a love so selfless it makes someone feel safe. And you did that. You were the steady ground, the safe haven, the shoulder to lean on, and the voice that reassured them when doubt crept in. You gave more than they probably even deserved, and they may not have understood it at the time. But now they're sitting in the emptiness of what they let slip through their fingers. When someone loses you, they lose someone who knew their flaws and accepted them anyway. They lose the person who saw their potential when they couldn't see it themselves. They lose the laughter you brought, the trust you built, and the moments that can't be replicated no matter how hard they try. You see, love isn't just about grand gestures. It's in the little things, your patience, your understanding, the way you remembered what mattered to them, the way you supported them when no one else did. That kind of presence leaves a mark on someone's soul. And when it's gone, it's irreplaceable. Here's the thing, not everyone is equipped to handle a rare soul like you. They may have thought they could do without you. They may have believed they'd find someone better or easier to love. But soon enough, they'll realize that people like you don't come around twice. They'll remember your energy when they sit in a room full of people and still feel alone. They'll miss your peace when they're surrounded by chaos and no one knows how to calm their storm. And they'll wish they had seen you for who you truly were, because now they're left with a haunting realization that they let go of the one person who brought them genuine joy, peace, and stability. But here's what I need you to understand. Their loss is not your burden to carry. Their inability to appreciate you does not take away your worth. What they lose when they lose you is a reflection of the power and presence you carried in their life. It's a reminder that you are not ordinary, you are extraordinary. And when you move on, when you rise higher, when you become even better than you were before, you leave them with one truth: they will never find another you. They will never find that peace again. And that's not your failure, that's their regret. Let them sit with it. You keep shining because the world needs your light. You are not replaceable. Let me say that again, you are not replaceable. And I don't mean that in some casual feel-good way. I mean it as an absolute truth that you need to anchor deep in your soul. There is no one on this planet who carries your exact energy, your unique perspective, your kindness, your humor, or your ability to touch hearts in the way that only you can. That's not ego, that's reality. You are a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, and when someone loses you, what they lose is something they will never find again. You see, we live in a world where people are quick to think everyone is replaceable. Oh, I'll find someone else. There's always another friend, another lover, another opportunity. But here's what they don't understand: people like you are rare. There are millions of people in this world, yet none of them will ever replicate the exact essence of you. No one will laugh like you do. No one will love like you do. No one will bring the same peace, support, and unwavering loyalty you gave so effortlessly. You are not a template, you are an original. And when they let you go, they lose access to something irreplaceable. But let me tell you something even more important. When they lose you, they don't just lose the person standing in front of them. They lose the version of you that existed only for them. Because the truth is, the way you love, the way you give, the way you care, it's tailored. It's specific, it's personal. You offer them a version of your heart that no one else will get. And that's what stings the most. They can go out and meet 1,000 other people, but none of them will see them the way you did. None of them will inspire them, calm them, or challenge them in the same way. You brought a piece to their life that can't be bought, copied, or found in someone else. You were the person they could talk to when no one else understood. You were the calm in their chaos, the steady presence in their darkest moments, and the safe place where they could just be. And when you take that away, that absence becomes a weight they will carry for a long time. Because here's the thing about peace: it's not loud, it's not flashy, but when it's gone, the silence is deafening. That's what you brought to their life: a quiet strength, an irreplaceable calm, and they will feel the void long after you've moved on. But I want you to understand this: you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. If someone couldn't see the value of having you in their life, that's their loss, not yours. The right people will recognize your rarity. They won't need reminders or wake-up calls. They'll know from the very start that someone like you doesn't come around twice. But for those who didn't see it, let them learn. Let them look back and realize that they let go of someone extraordinary. And you keep showing up for yourself. You keep becoming the best version of you. Because the beautiful part about being irreplaceable is this: you don't need to convince anyone. Your energy, your essence, your peace will speak for itself. You'll walk into rooms and light them up. You'll touch hearts and change lives just by being who you are. And the people who are meant to be in your life, they'll hold on to you with everything they have because they'll know people like you don't come around twice. So never shrink yourself. Never let someone's inability to appreciate you make you question your worth. You are not just another option. You are not someone who can be replaced. You are the rarest kind of energy, and anyone who loses you will spend the rest of their life trying to fill the space you once occupied. But by then you'll be too far ahead, shining brighter than ever, living a life so full of peace and power that their regret will be a story they have to live with, not you. When someone loses you, they will search for you and others, and they will fail every single time. Why? Because the energy you brought to their life was unique. You see, when you've shown up for someone with your love, your loyalty, your compassion, and your peace, you leave a mark that no one else can fill. You set a standard. You gave them something so genuine, so real, that when you're no longer there, they're left with nothing but memories of what they had and an emptiness they can't explain. Here's the truth: most people don't understand your presence as an experience. It's not just about what you say or do, but how you made them feel. The way you listened without judgment, the way you cared without conditions, the way you supported them without asking for anything in return that doesn't come from everyone. That's rare. And when they lose you, they will crave that feeling again. They will look for it in someone else's smile, someone else's voice, someone else's touch, but it won't feel the same. It can't. Because you are one of one. People often take for granted what feels constant. You might have been the person they could count on, the person who always answered when they called, the one who knew exactly what to say when their world was falling apart. And they got used to that. They thought it would always be there. But when they lose you, they realize something they never expected: you were the glue holding certain parts of their life together. You were the one who brought light into their darkest days, and now without you, they're left stumbling in the shadows. That's when the searching begins. At first, they'll convince themselves it's no big deal. I'll find someone better, it's just a matter of time. But here's what happens: they meet new people. They have new conversations, they laugh, they bond, but something's missing. The connection doesn't hit as deep. The peace doesn't feel as real. They find themselves comparing every new experience to what they had with you. It's subconscious at first, but soon it becomes undeniable they lost something they can't replace. You see, people like you don't come around every day. You're the kind of person who gives without keeping score. You pour your heart into people because you care, not because you're looking for something in return. You love deeply, you bring joy effortlessly, and you created an environment of peace where others feel seen, heard, and understood. And that, my friend, is irreplaceable. That's why they'll search for you. They'll try to recreate the magic, the comfort, the connection, but they won't find it. Because it wasn't about the actions or the words, it was about you. But here's what I need you to understand: their search is not your concern. Their regret is not your responsibility. When someone loses you, it is no longer your job to worry about how they feel. Your job is to keep moving forward. Your job is to focus on your own peace, your own growth, and your own happiness, because while they're busy searching for you and everyone else, you'll be out there living your best life, becoming even more of the incredible person you were born to be. And that's the most powerful thing you can do. Because while they're realizing that no one else brings the calm, the love, and the light that you did, you'll be miles ahead, thriving. Their loss will teach them a lesson they'll carry forever: that people like you are not replaceable. The world is full of connections, but very few are real, and even fewer are life-changing. You are both. And that's why they'll search for you. That's why they'll never truly find peace. But you'll be free. Free to love yourself, free to create new memories, free to share your light with the people who truly deserve it. You don't need to look back. Let their search be their story, and let your peace be your victory. Focus on your growth, because that's where your power lies. When someone loses you, it's easy to get caught up in the why. Why did they walk away? Why couldn't they see your value? Why weren't you enough for them? But let me tell you something: those questions don't serve you. They only pull you back into a place you've outgrown. You are not meant to dwell in the past or chase someone who doesn't appreciate your worth. Your energy, your focus, and your time are far too valuable to be wasted on people who no longer see the greatness you carry. The moment you shift your focus from them to yourself, you take back your power. Instead of replaying conversations, wondering what you could have done differently, or longing for closure you may never get, put all that energy into your own growth. Make the decision that from this moment forward, you are your greatest investment. You are your top priority. And that's not selfish, that's survival. That's you reclaiming your life, your peace, and your future. Let me paint this picture for you. Imagine someone who let you go thinking they were making the right decision. Maybe they believed they'd find someone better, someone who fit their life more easily. But while they're out there trying to replace you, you're building yourself. You're growing stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You're leveling up, expanding your horizons, and stepping into the person you were always meant to be. They'll look up one day expecting you to be stuck where they left you, and instead they'll see someone unrecognizable, someone thriving, glowing, and unstoppable. Growth is the greatest revenge, not because you're trying to get back at anyone, but because it proves that you never needed them to begin with. You see, your value doesn't decrease when someone fails to see it. Their inability to appreciate you doesn't make you less worthy. All it means is that they were never equipped to meet you at the level you're destined for. And that's okay. Let them go. Let them learn their lessons and let yourself grow into everything you're capable of becoming. Here's the truth: when you focus on your growth, you unlock parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. You start achieving things you once thought were impossible. You start feeling joy, confidence, and freedom that can't be shaken by anyone else's opinion. You realize that the peace you were trying to give to others was the peace you needed to give to yourself all along. You stop waiting for someone else to fill you up because you've learned how to fill yourself. And let me tell you what happens when you commit to your growth. You start attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that align with the highest version of yourself. You stop settling for relationships that drain you because you know you deserve connections that lift you higher. You stop explaining your worth to people who don't get it because you're too busy walking in your purpose. You start glowing from within, and that glow, it's untouchable. It's magnetic. And the people who once let you go, they'll see it, and they'll realize they didn't just lose a person, they lost an entire future, an entire experience, an entire world that only you could provide. But by then it won't matter, because you'll be too far ahead. You'll have outgrown the version of yourself they knew. And the most beautiful part, you'll look back and realize that their leaving wasn't a loss, it was the very thing that pushed you toward your greatest breakthrough. So hear me when I say this: stop looking back. Stop waiting for an apology, for closure, for someone to change. They made their choice. Now it's time for you to make yours. Choose yourself, choose your growth, choose your peace. Because the more you invest in yourself, the more unstoppable you become. And that's how you win, not by proving them wrong, but by proving yourself right. Your journey doesn't end because someone couldn't see your worth. It's only just beginning. Keep growing, keep rising, and let your success speak louder than their regrets. You owe that to yourself. You were their safe space, and when they lost you, they lost more than they could ever understand. Let's get real about this. You were the calm in their storm. You were the person they could call when the weight of the world became too much to carry. You were their sounding board, their encourager, their healer. You brought them peace when they were drowning in chaos. That kind of presence isn't something everyone has, and it isn't something they'll find again easily. Here's the truth most people don't realize until it's too late: peace is priceless. It's one thing to have people around you, but it's another thing to have someone who makes your soul feel at ease. Someone who listens to you with an open heart, who supports you without hesitation, who doesn't try to fix you but just understands that was you. You didn't just show up for them in the good times, you stood strong during their darkest moments. You became their sanctuary. And the moment they lost you, they lost that sanctuary too. But let me tell you what happens next. At first, they might not notice it. They might distract themselves, convincing themselves that everything is fine. But as time goes on, they'll start to feel it. They'll start to miss the calm you brought into their life. You see, when someone gets used to your energy, your steady, reassuring presence, they don't just lose a person when you're gone. They lose their anchor. And without that anchor, they're left adrift. They'll try to find that same comfort in other people, but it won't be the same. It can't be. Because what you offered came from a place of pure authenticity and love. That's what made it powerful, and that's what made it rare. You see, peace is not something you can fake. It's not something you can buy. It's not something you stumble upon randomly. Peace is a gift, and not everyone has the ability to give it. You gave that gift willingly because that's who you are. You're the type of person who brings light into a room, who helps others feel seen and understood, who carries a presence that makes people feel safe. And when you walked away, when they lost access to that, you took that gift with you. They might try to fill the space you left with noise, with distractions, with people who don't hold a candle to what you brought, but it won't work. The void remains. But here's what you need to understand: their inability to find peace is not your burden to carry. You can't force someone to see your value. You can't make someone appreciate the kind of peace you brought to their life. That's their lesson to learn. Maybe they didn't realize how much you mattered when they had you. Maybe they thought they could replace what you offered. But now they're learning that people like you don't come around every day. And that kind of realization, that's where their regret begins. But let me make one thing clear: you don't owe them your peace anymore. You don't owe them a way back into your life. Your peace is yours to protect, and you get to decide who has access to it. When you've walked away from people who couldn't appreciate you, don't look back. Because the truth is, when someone doesn't know how to value what they had, they'll only return to take more than they give. And you're not here to be drained. You're here to shine. You're here to protect your energy and share your peace with the people who do deserve it. So let them feel the loss. Let them feel the weight of what they let go of. That's not your concern anymore. What matters now is your peace, your growth, your happiness. You brought them calm when they needed it most, but now it's time to bring that same calm to yourself. Focus on building a life so full of peace, so full of purpose, that you never have to second guess who belongs in your world. Because the truth is, the people who are meant to be in your life will value the peace you bring. They'll protect it. They'll nurture it. And they'll never take it for granted. Let the rest learn their lessons. Let them carry the weight of what they lost, because when you're gone, that peace you once brought becomes a memory, and memories can't hold them up when life gets hard. You were the safe space they'll never find again, and now you get to be that safe space for yourself. That's where your power lies. That's where your freedom begins. Protect your peace. Own your worth. Let them feel the silence, and you keep moving forward. Your love was pure, and they will realize too late that nothing compares to it. Let me break this down for you. When you love, you don't do it halfway. You don't hold back. You don't calculate your efforts or love with conditions. Your love is full, raw, and unconditional. It's the kind of love that can heal wounds, calm storms, and make people believe in the good in the world again. That kind of love, it doesn't come from everyone, and it doesn't come around often. And when someone loses you, they lose access to a kind of love that many people spend their whole lives searching for and never find. Here's the truth most people don't understand until it's too late. Pure love is a gift. It's not something you can force, manipulate, or demand. It's given freely from a heart that cares deeply and genuinely. You brought that love into their life without asking for anything in return. You stood by them, celebrated their victories, held them in their pain, and stayed loyal when the world turned its back on them. That wasn't ordinary. That wasn't common. That was love in its highest form, and when you gave it, you changed their life. But here's where the mistake happens: they didn't know how to cherish it. They thought your love was normal, something that could be found again. Maybe they thought the way you showed up for them, the calls, the support, the presence, was replaceable. Maybe they took for granted how safe, seen, and valued you made them feel. But here's what happens when you lose a love like yours: you realize that everything else feels empty by comparison. Let me explain why. Most people don't love with their whole heart. They hold back. They love with conditions, waiting for something in return. They come and go when it's convenient, or their love only exists when life is easy. But you love differently. You stayed consistent. You showed up. Your love wasn't transactional, it was transformational. You weren't just a person in their life, you were the person who made life better. You were the calm in their chaos, the light in their darkness, the warmth they could always come back to. Now, without you, they'll feel the difference. They'll experience what it's like to be loved halfway, to be supported out of convenience instead of true care, and to be surrounded by people who never measure up to the standard you set. That's when it hits them. That's when they look back and realize that the love you gave them was once in a lifetime. They'll search for that feeling in others, but it won't come. Because you can't replace something real with something temporary. Here's what you need to understand: the way you love is your strength, not your weakness. Don't ever let someone's inability to value your love make you feel like you gave too much or were too much you loved the way you did, because that's who you are. You are someone who brings meaning, depth, and authenticity into people's lives. And if they couldn't handle it, if they couldn't appreciate it, that's on them, not you. Their loss is not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of what they were ready for. But here's the most beautiful part when you give love so pure and powerful. It always comes back to you. Maybe not from the people you gave it to, but from the universe, from the right connections, and from the right people who see your heart and choose to honor it. Because the people who deserve your love will never take it for granted. They'll recognize its rarity, they'll match your energy, show up for you the way you show up for them, and create a bond so strong that you'll never question your place in their life. And the ones who let you go, they'll feel it. The emptiness, the regret, the realization that they had something extraordinary and lost it, that's not your weight to carry. That's their lesson to learn. Let them sit with it. Let them feel the absence of your love. Because when they lose you, they don't just lose a person, they lose the kind of love that makes life brighter, deeper, and more meaningful. But you keep moving forward, you keep loving, but this time you love yourself first. You pour that same energy back into your life, your growth, your happiness, and when the right people come along, you'll see why the wrong ones had to leave. Because you deserve a love that matches yours. You deserve a connection that feels just as pure, just as deep, and just as transformative. So remember this, your love is a gift, and the people who lose it will feel its absence for the rest of their lives. Let that be their story. Your story is about rising, growing, and becoming even more of the incredible person you are. The love you gave will always be a reminder to them of what they had and what they lost, but for you, it's just the beginning of the love you're about to receive. Keep loving, keep shining, and never settle for anything less than what you deserve. Your absence becomes their lesson because sometimes people only understand value when it's gone. Let me tell you something, powerful people don't always appreciate what they have when it's in front of them. They get comfortable. They assume you'll always be there, always giving, always showing up. They mistake your consistency for permanence and they confuse your kindness for something ordinary. But here's the truth, you are anything but ordinary. You are extraordinary, and when you walk away, your absence creates a void that cannot be ignored. Here's the reality, when you're in someone's life, you're pouring into them every day, often in ways they don't even realize. Your energy lifts them up. Your words bring them comfort. Your presence gives them peace. You're their safe place, their steady support, the quiet strength they didn't even know they needed. But when you step away, suddenly that safety is gone, that peace is gone. That light is gone. And for the first time, they're forced to face the weight of life without you there to soften it. At first, they may not see it. Maybe they're caught up in ego or distractions. Maybe they think they can replace you, find someone new. Or just keep moving like nothing happened. But life has a funny way of teaching lessons. Time reveals everything. Days turn into weeks, and weeks into months, and somewhere in that silence it hits them you were irreplaceable. That the energy, love, and peace you brought to their life wasn't something anyone else could give. Because the truth is, no two people are the same. No one has your heart. No one has your voice. No one else shows up in the way you do. And when they look for you and others, they'll come up empty-handed. Because what they're looking for isn't out there. It was you. Your unique energy, your unique spirit, and the way you made them feel can't be replicated. And that's when the lesson lands. That's when they start to understand the depth of what they lost. Here's the key. This is not about revenge. This is not about wishing anyone harm or hoping they suffer. This is about understanding your worth. It's about realizing that your absence is not punishment, it's clarity. Sometimes people need to feel the loss of you to understand the value of you. And that's not your burden to carry. Their regret is not your responsibility. Your job is to keep moving forward. Your job is to keep pouring into yourself, to keep growing, to keep becoming even more powerful, even more radiant, and even more unstoppable. And here's the most beautiful part, that realization doesn't stop you. It doesn't hold you back. It doesn't change your path. If anything, it sets you free. It frees you from people who couldn't see your value. It frees you from places where you weren't appreciated. It allows you to create space for people who do see you, who do honor you, who do recognize that your presence is a gift. So when someone loses you, don't let it shake your confidence. Don't let it make you question your worth. Instead, stand tall in the knowledge that sometimes your absence is the very thing that teaches others the most important lessons. And while they're busy learning what they lost, you'll be out there living your best life. You'll be creating new memories, chasing new dreams, and surrounding yourself with people who see you for who you are and never take it for granted. You see, your power isn't just in what you bring to the table. Your power is also in what happens when you're no longer there. Your absence forces people to grow. It forces people to reflect. It forces people to understand that some things in life can't be replaced no matter how hard they try. And that's not something to feel bad about. That's something to feel empowered by, because when you know your worth, you realize that walking away isn't a loss, it's a declaration. It's you saying, I will not stay where I am not valued. And trust me, when you live like that, when you carry yourself with that kind of confidence and clarity, you don't lose people, you lose those who didn't deserve you. And what they gain, a powerful lesson about the price of taking someone like you for granted. So let them feel it. Let them sit with the silence. Let them learn from the void you left behind. But you, keep shining, keep rising, keep stepping into the incredible person you are. Because while they're learning the hard way, you're moving forward with peace, purpose, and power. And that's how you win. That's how you rise above. They will search for you in others, but they'll never find what you gave. Let me tell you something powerful. When someone has experienced the depth of your presence, the unique way you love, support, and show up in their life, they will spend the rest of their lives searching for that again. And here's the truth, they will never find it. Why? Because what you brought to their life wasn't just a passing moment or an ordinary connection. What you gave was real. What you gave was irreplaceable. And when they lose you, they lose a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to experience that kind of connection again. Here's the thing, people are always trying to find something that feels like the last thing they had. They look for the same energy, the same comfort, the same type of love. But the truth is, people like you don't come around often. You have a combination of qualities, a depth of spirit, and a way of showing up in the world that can't be mimicked, can't be replicated, and definitely can't be replaced. When they look for you in others, they'll find imitations, but not the real thing. They'll find fragments, not the full picture. And every time they come up short, it will remind them of what they lost. Let me paint this for you. They may try to fill the void with someone who looks like you, talks like you, maybe even acts like you in certain ways, but deep down they'll know truth. They'll know that the connection they shared with you was different. They'll know that no one else made them feel the way you did. And in those quiet moments when they're left alone with their thoughts, they'll be reminded of your absence the way you made them feel safe, seen, and important. And no matter how hard they try, they'll never find that peace in anyone else. Here's what most people don't understand. You can't replicate energy. The unique energy you brought to their life, the way you impacted their world, is one of a kind. People like you are rare. You give freely, without hesitation. You show up fully. You bring joy, clarity, love, and peace into the lives of those you care about. And when they lose that, they're left with a hole that can't be filled by anyone else. They'll look for the same love, the same support, the same depth of connection, but it won't be there. They'll find distractions, they'll find replacements, but they won't find you. And you know what? That's okay. That's part of their journey. It's part of their growth. They need to feel that loss to understand the value of what they had. But here's where you come in. You don't need to wait for them to realize it. You don't need them to acknowledge your worth because you already know it. You know that what you gave was more than enough. You know that what you brought to the table was a gift that many people would never even dream of receiving. And that's what matters. So as they search for you and others, as they try to fill the space you left behind, you keep moving forward. You keep growing, evolving, and becoming the best version of yourself. You keep pouring your energy into people who deserve it. People who value what you bring to the table, people who are ready to appreciate your worth. And when the time comes, you'll look back and realize that losing you wasn't their biggest loss. It was their biggest lesson. Here's the truth: when you know your worth, you stop chasing validation. You stop waiting for people to recognize your value because you already know that your presence in their life was something they would never find again. And while they search, while they try to find something to fill the void, you'll be out there living a life that's aligned with your purpose. A life full of the right people, the right energy, and the right opportunities. The world needs your unique light, your energy, your love. So don't shrink, don't doubt yourself. The people who lost you will always search for what you gave them, but they'll never find it again. And that's the reality they have to live with. Not you. You have outgrown them. You've moved on. And the most beautiful part, the journey ahead of you is full of limitless possibilities. You'll attract the right people, the right experiences, and the right opportunities that see your value, that appreciate your worth, and that give back to you just as much as you give. So as they search for you and others, you keep growing, keep shining, and keep creating the life you deserve. Because when they realize that no one will ever compare to you, they will have to live with the truth that they had everything they needed and they lost it. And you'll be living proof that sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away. Because when you know your worth, you stop chasing anything less than what you deserve. Here's the bottom line: you are a force. You bring something to the table that not everyone can give, and when you walk away, it's not just your absence they're missing, the gift of your presence, the power of your energy, and the depth of your love. And while they might try to move on, try to fill the hole you left behind, they'll never find anything that compares to what you offered. You are irreplaceable. But listen carefully, this is not your problem. Their peace isn't your responsibility anymore. You have given enough. You've shown up in ways that many people will never understand. But that's not something you need to apologize for. You've been the calm in their storm, the strength when they were weak, the love when they felt lost. And now as you step forward into the life you deserve, you must remember you are not here to be taken for granted. You are here to shine, to grow, to embrace the incredible person you've always been. The truth is, those who couldn't recognize your worth, those who let you slip away, will feel the absence of you in ways they can't even begin to imagine. And they will live with that regret for the rest of their lives. But that's their journey to walk, not yours. You are moving forward, getting better every day, and attracting the kind of peace, love, and energy that matches your worth. So keep walking. Keep rising. Keep being the person you've always been, the person who knows their worth, who isn't afraid to let go of what doesn't serve them, and who understands that peace begins within. You will never find your value in someone else's inability to appreciate it. Your peace, your purpose, your greatness, that's what matters now. And when they realize that no one will ever give them what you did, let that be their lesson. You don't need to go back. You don't need to explain. You just need to keep moving forward, knowing that your best days are ahead. Because the ones who truly deserve you will find you, and they'll never take you for granted. The rest will be left to their regret. But you'll be living your truth, shining brighter than ever before. Keep going. You've got this.
Have you ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth effortlessly while others work tirelessly but still remain financially stuck? The truth is, the wealthy often follow a financial playbook that they rarely share, and today I'm going to reveal some of its most crucial elements. In this video, I'll expose the 10 worst financial assets that slowly drain your wealth, keeping you trapped in the rat race. These aren't just bad investments, they're wealth destroyers disguised as status symbols and achievements. Even Warren Buffett has confirmed the secret: many wealthy individuals didn't build their fortunes by simply making more money. Instead, they focused on avoiding these wealth-killing purchases, which most people in the US make without a second thought. Each of these financial traps is part of a larger system designed to funnel your money into someone else's pockets. Stay tuned until the end, because the last trap is the most deceptive of all, and it might be sitting in your driveway right now. Let's begin by uncovering these financial time bombs that could be sabotaging your wealth. 1. New car is a depreciating investment. That new car smell might be tempting, but the moment you drive a new car off the dealership lot, it loses around 15% of its value. Think of it as throwing $6,000 out the window before you even get home. Over the first 5 years, a car can lose more than half its value. For instance, a $40,000 car might drop to under $20,000. And if you financed it, you're still paying based on the original price, often with interest that brings the total cost to $50,000 or more. Meanwhile, the wealthy avoid this trap. Warren Buffett, despite being a billionaire, drove a used Cadillac, understanding that cars are expenses, not investments. True wealth comes from owning assets that appreciate, not depreciate. Instead of buying new, consider looking for cars that are 2 to 3 years old with low mileage. A used Toyota Camry or Honda Accord often offers the same technology and experience as a new model, and you'll save $10,000 to $15,000 right off the bat. If you must buy new, consider the math that $40,000 invested in an S&P 500 index fund over 20 years could grow to over $186,000. Is that new car smell worth losing that potential growth? 2. Timeshares, a lifelong financial burden. Now let's talk about another wealth trap, timeshares. At first glance, they may seem like a smart investment in your future vacations, but in reality, they are often a financial nightmare. With an upfront payment of $20,000 or more and annual maintenance fees that can climb from $800 to $2,000 or more, a timeshare is a commitment that can last forever. And the worst part, it's nearly impossible to sell. Robert from Miami learned this the hard way when he tried to sell his Florida timeshare for $15,000, only to find no buyers despite having paid $30,000 for it just 5 years earlier. Meanwhile, financially savvy individuals simply book accommodations when they want to travel, enjoying the freedom to choose different destinations and avoid long-term commitments. Websites like Airbnb and Vrbo offer excellent options at a fraction of the ongoing cost of a timeshare. If you already own a timeshare and feel stuck, there are specialized companies that help exit these contracts, but be prepared to pay for this service. Prevention is always cheaper than the cure, so ask yourself, does this give me financial flexibility or lock me into an inflexible commitment? 3. Designer clothes and accessories, trading well for appearance next. Let's discuss a financial trap that has many people trading their future for a fleeting moment of admiration: designer clothes and accessories. Whether it's a $2,000 Louis Vuitton bag or a $10,000 Rolex watch, these luxury items may make you look wealthy. But the reality is that many people flaunting these status symbols are deep in debt. They're trading real wealth for a temporary illusion of prosperity. While people struggling financially show off the latest designer items, many real millionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett wear simple clothes and live modestly. These individuals understand that owning income-generating assets is far more important than appearing wealthy. The math is simple, that $500 pair of shoes could be invested in an ETF like VT, which would turn that amount into more than $20,000 over 20 years. This doesn't mean you should never buy high-quality items, but timing and proportion are key. The truly wealthy invest in assets first, and only spend on luxuries once they've built a solid financial foundation. A good rule of thumb: if a luxury item costs more than 1% of your total net worth, it's probably too soon to buy it. If you love luxury brands, consider smarter alternatives like resale platforms such as The RealReal or Vestiaire Collective, which offer authentic designer items at a fraction of the price. Or try subscription services like Rent the Runway, which allow you to enjoy designer clothes without the long-term commitment. 4. Lottery and gambling. The tax on hope. Finally, let's talk about the financial trap that gives you nothing but false hope: lottery tickets and gambling. Known as the tax on hope, these activities primarily affect those who can least afford it. The odds of winning are shockingly low. You're more likely to be struck by lightning than to win the Powerball. To put it in perspective, you could fill Madison Square Garden with people and still have a better chance of picking one person to win than actually hitting the lottery. The average American spends around $400 a year on lottery tickets. While this might not seem like much, if that money were invested monthly in an index fund, though for 30 years, it could grow to more than $50,000. Sarah from Ohio discovered this after calculating that she had spent over $15,000 on tickets over 12 years, only to win a single prize of $50. The wealthy don't waste money on such long shots. Instead, they make calculated investments in businesses, real estate, and the stock market, where the odds of making money are far better. Real wealth comes from consistent, disciplined decisions, not relying on instant luck. If you feel the urge to gamble, create a separate play fund as part of your entertainment budget, capping it at 1 to 2% of your disposable income. This way you can indulge without jeopardizing your financial future. If you're finding these financial traps helpful, take a moment to type eye-opening in the comments below. It helps the YouTube algorithm and ensures I'm creating content that truly matters to you. Let's continue. Redirect that impulse by trying apps like Acorns or Robinhood, which make investing as accessible and engaging as gambling, but with far better long-term results. However, while gambling can harm your finances, at least it's a slow drain. Our fifth wealth destroyer works much faster. It's like a high-speed vacuum for your wallet, and nearly 40% of Americans are caught in its trap right now. 5. Credit card debt. Your biggest financial enemy might be that small piece of plastic in your pocket. With average interest rates around 20% annually, credit card debt, if not paid off in full, is like a black hole for your wealth, continually draining your future. The numbers are alarming. A $5,000 debt on your card, paying only the minimum, could take over 15 years to pay off and cost you more than $10,000 in interest. It's like paying double for everything. Dave from Boston learned this the hard way. His $7,000 debt on furniture and electronics ended up costing over $16,000 after years of paying just the minimum. The trick banks don't want you to know is that they love it when you pay only the minimum. In fact, that minimum payment is scientifically designed to keep you in debt as long as possible while they rake in interest. It's a perfect transfer of wealth from your future to bank shareholders. Financially intelligent people approach credit cards differently. They take advantage of benefits like air miles, cashback, and fraud protection, but they always pay the full balance every month. This turns a potential trap into a useful tool. Cards like Chase, Freedom, or Citi Double Cash offer 2% or more on all purchases, but only if you avoid paying any interest. Let me ask, did you already know about these financial traps we've covered, or has any of this been new to you? I'm curious. Drop a quick comment saying new or that's new to me. I read every comment, and it helps me create better content for you. If you're already in debt, there's a way out. Adopt the avalanche method. Focus on paying off the card with the highest interest rate first, while making minimum payments on the others. Once the first card is paid off, move that amount to the next, creating a snowball effect. Apps like undebt.it or Tiller Money can help organize the process and keep you motivated as you see progress. Now, while credit card debt might be obvious, our sixth wealth destroyer often looks like a path to success, a costly credential that many Americans continue to pay off long after they earn it. 6. Expensive and useless degrees. Go to college, get a good job. This advice has been passed down for generations, but it's becoming outdated. The average cost of a 4-year degree exceeds $100,000, and many students graduate with degrees that don't guarantee jobs, carrying debt that follows them for decades. The average student debt in the US is $37,000, with many graduates owing over $100,000. The problem? In certain fields, starting salaries are so low that paying off this debt becomes nearly impossible. Jennifer, who graduated in visual arts with $60,000 in debt, took a job paying only $32,000 annually. After 5 years, she still owed more than when she graduated. The real issue isn't education itself, but the imbalance between cost and return. Financially savvy people analyze the return on investment, ROI, of any education. They ask, will this degree really increase my income? Is there a more affordable path to this career? Could I learn these skills more economically? Alternatives are growing rapidly, such as certification programs in IT, web development, or data analysis. These can cost less than $10,000 and lead to starting salaries of $60,000 or more. Community colleges offer the first 2 years of education at a fraction of the cost of traditional universities. Online platforms like Coursera, ETS, and LinkedIn Learning offer quality courses for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. Before committing to higher education, do your research. Sites like PayScale and the Bureau of Labor Statistics show average salaries by career and education level. Compare programs from different institutions and consider starting at a community college before transferring to a university. Scholarships, federal aid, and employer reimbursement programs can also significantly reduce costs. At least with education, you're investing in your own skills and potential. But our seventh wealth destroyer is far more baffling. 7. Boats and luxury items. Buying problems in the form of status boats, vacation homes, and other luxury items seems enticing, but these are financial black holes disguised as status symbols. There's an old joke in the nautical world: the two best days in a boat owner's life are the day they buy it and the day they sell it. Many people discover this financial truth too late. A $50,000 boat can easily cost another $5,000 to $10,000 annually in maintenance, insurance, storage, fuel, and repairs. The worst part: most boats sit idle over 90% of the time. Mike from Tampa bought his dream boat for $65,000, but after using it just 8 days a year, it ended up costing him nearly $2,000 per day of use. Meanwhile, financially savvy people rent luxury instead of buying it. Why spend $50,000 on a boat when you can rent one for $400, $600 per day when you actually want to use it? Apps like Get My Boat, Boat Setter, and Freedom Boat Club let you enjoy the experience without the financial burden of ownership. The math is stark. A $50,000 boat with $5,000 in annual maintenance costs over 10 years would cost $100,000. If that same amount were invested in an ETF with an 8% average annual return, it would grow to about $215,000 over the same period. The question is, are those few days on the lake worth $115,000 of your future? For those who truly love exclusive experiences, consider the 5% rule. If the annual maintenance cost of a luxury item exceeds 5% of your annual after-tax income, you probably can't afford it. If you really want those experiences, look into shared ownership or membership clubs that offer access without the full weight of ownership. Now, if buying expensive toys that lose value seems unwise, our 8th wealth destroyer is even more subtle. 8. Whole life insurance, marketed as both protection and investment. Whole life insurance often fails to deliver on both promises, all while making someone else very, very rich. Whole life insurance combines costly life insurance with a low yield investment, creating a product that fails at both goals. The numbers don't lie. Whole life insurance can cost 5 to 10 times more than term life insurance for the same coverage. A 45-year-old man seeking $500,000 in coverage might pay $400 annually for a 20-year term policy, or $4,000 annually for whole life insurance. That's a $3,600 difference per year, money that could be invested in higher return options. The investment component of whole life insurance is inefficient, with most premiums going to fees and commissions in the early years. After 10 years, you might have paid $40,000 in premiums to accumulate only $30,000 in value. James from Ohio experienced this when he tried to cash out his policy after 8 years, receiving less than he had paid in. Financially astute people use a far more efficient strategy: buy term life insurance and invest the difference. They purchase affordable term life insurance for protection during the years that matter most, when they have dependent children or a mortgage, and invest the savings in higher return vehicles like index funds, e.g. VD, VID, VO, or tax advantage retirement accounts, 400, 1000, IRA. There are options available if you want to rethink your life insurance policy. You can consider a partial surrender, a policy loan, or a tax-free exchange under the 1035 rule for a more efficient policy or annuity. It's wise to consult a fee-only financial planner, someone who doesn't earn commissions and offers unbiased advice. We've discussed several costly financial mistakes, but our 9th wealth destroyer may be affecting you right now, possibly even in your pocket or purse. This recurring expense, driven by some of the most sophisticated marketing tactics, can quickly add up year after year. 9. Expensive gadgets and constant upgrades. The cycle of upgrading tech gadgets is relentless. For instance, That new iPhone looks tempting with its improved camera and slightly faster processor, but the reality is that the difference in user experience between consecutive models often doesn't justify the $1,000 price tag. Tech companies like Apple and Samsung have perfected the concept of perceived obsolescence. They don't need the old product to break, they just need you to think it's outdated. Switching to a new phone every year can cost over $12,000 in a decade. However, if you hold on to your phone for 3 to 4 years, you could save $6,000 to $8,000 during that time. Robert from Denver realized he spent more than $14,000 upgrading his iPhone in the past 10 years, money that, if invested in an index fund, could have grown to over $20,000. Financially savvy individuals follow a simple rule: use technology until it no longer meets their needs, not just because the next version is out. Warren Buffett, for instance, used the same flip phone for years while building a multi-billion-dollar empire. It's not about avoiding technology, but about using it strategically rather than emotionally. When it's time to upgrade, consider more affordable options. Previous models often come with 30 to 40% discounts when a new one is released, and certified refurbished devices offer similar warranties at a fraction of the price. For computers, a simple RAM or SSD upgrade can extend a device's life for just $100 to $200 rather than buying a brand new model for $1,500. Let me ask, did you already know about these financial traps, or has this been a surprise? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment saying "knew it" or "that's new to me." I read every comment, and it helps me create even better content for you. Now for our final wealth destroyer, one that might seem like the happiest purchase, but often leaves couples starting their lives together with a financial burden that lasts for years. 10. Expensive weddings. Your wedding day is a special moment, but it doesn't have to be a financial nightmare. The average cost of a wedding in the US exceeds $30,000, and many couples end up starting their marriage already burdened with debt. This social pressure to have a lavish ceremony comes from magazines, TV shows, and social media, all promoting the idea that a wedding needs to be grand to be meaningful. But studies show there's no correlation between the cost of the wedding and the happiness or longevity of the marriage. In fact, couples who spend less on their weddings tend to stay together longer. Jennifer and Michael from Boston opted for a simple $5,000 ceremony and used the $25,000 they saved as a down payment on their first home, which appreciated significantly in just 5 years. The real issue isn't about celebrating your love, it's about sacrificing your financial future for a single day. Those $30,000 spent on a wedding could grow to over $450,000 by age 65 if invested for retirement with an average annual return of 8%. Is it worth trading $500,000 of your future for flowers and a DJ for a few hours? Financially intelligent couples are rethinking what makes an unforgettable wedding. They focus on experience instead of extravagance and meaning over spectacle. Weekday ceremonies, non-traditional venues like parks or museums, digital invitations, and minimalist decorations can reduce costs by half while preserving the special moments. If you're planning a wedding, start by setting a maximum budget before researching anything. The golden rule: don't spend more than you can afford to pay in cash without affecting your long-term financial goals. Apps like Zola and WeddingWire offer free budgeting tools to help keep costs under control. On a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful has this information been in your financial journey? Let me know your rating in the comments. I'd love to hear which wealth traps you plan to tackle first. Remember, while many people are focused on buying the illusion of wealth, you now have the knowledge to build real wealth. Your future self is counting on you to make the right decision today.